Hello, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Just have one person on with me, Nada. Hello, how are you? Feel free to unmute yourself and say hello, or you can certainly communicate with me through the chat.
Hi,
Hi, how are you today?
better than I've been for a good week.
Good, that's a good thing to hear. What's changed for you?
I got enough sleep
It's a big deal.
last night. Yeah.
Good, good. And did you make any changes to your sleep habits?
Uh, well, I took a nap yesterday.
Oh.
3 hours.
Oh, you let yourself do that. Good for you.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people, women particularly, who have trouble resting?
Yeah. 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 I so much to do.
Yeah, but sometimes, we have received messages that, resting means we're lazy or we have this fear of missing out on something. Um, but our bodies crave it. Our bodies really need it. So resting is a very, very, very important part of self-care.
I realize that.
Yeah,
Yes.
without, and self-care without the vanity. It's about mental wellness as well as physical wellness.
I wake up when it gets light, even though I've tried to darken the bedroom, and it gets light really early in the summer.
Yeah.
I try to go to bed earlier, but the time goes so fast these days. Time
From
is
living where you
time
are.
is much faster, and a day is no longer 24 hours really, as my body was geared to work with. Um, it's more like 12 hours is what it feels like, and everything. I mean, everything everything just takes so long.
And time is going so quickly, right?
It goes very, very quickly.
Yeah, when we're younger, it seems to drag, and as we get older, it's going
Yes.
too fast, right?
Yeah, yeah, there's that, and time and perceptions change, and the body's perceptions change. I haven't gained any weight. I just weighed myself at 87 pounds, 87 and a half pounds. And I've been eating well and a lot more food, and the good food.
Okay.
Uh,
Have you spoken to a GI doc about this?
yeah,
It could be a malabsorption issue. Have you looked
it
into that?
is.
It
It
is.
definitely is.
Okay, so what are you doing about that?
Well, I'm taking herbal remedies to help me eat more.
To
In
increase your
larger
hunger?
portions. Sometimes, if I have an appointment or something, I don't have a chance to eat a full lunch. And should be my big meal of the day. It really should. I eat a big breakfast, but sometimes lunch does not. I bring snacks that I can have with me, but
Okay.
it's not like sitting down and eating a big
No,
hearty lunch.
and that's a really important part about it, not it's, I think we touched upon this last month. Not only is what we're eating important, and I'm very happy to go through that with you, but it's how we're eating, right? We talked about eating in a relaxed state. And the fact that you're telling me about taking snacks means you're running around. And I get it. Believe me, I get it. But if we want to really absorb our food, we've got to be in a rest and digest state when we're
Yeah,
eating. And
yes.
that means, just even if it's 5, 7 minutes, 5, 7 minutes of nothing else but quiet so you can experience your meal. You can chew it well.
I
You can,
tend to read while I'm eating at home.
you do read.
I read. I mean, I take a long time eating. I eat very leisurely.
But when you're reading, are you experiencing the food? Or are you
Probably
not
not.
aware of what you're eating because you're so ensconced in what you are reading?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. See if you can reframe that a little bit and really become aware. But I want to ask you, I think we talked about digestive enzymes last time too. Would that be something that you think would be helpful for you?
I do take digestive
You do.
enzymes.
Which ones do you take?
Well, I'm taking an amino acid combination, amino acid supreme.
Okay.
And I have, and if I'm eating a fatty meal, I've got literally digest enzymes for things like that. And I take a lot of vitamins and supplement, too many.
Yeah.
In fact, that takes up so much room in my stomach. Sometimes I don't have room for the food. I know I
Yeah,
spend
I
as
get
much
it.
on stuffs as I do on food.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's killing
understand.
me.
I've experienced that myself. But
And
digestive enzymes can be very helpful to help you absorb
yeah,
amino acids, just very good for every system of your body, especially your neurotransmitters, right?
yes,
Very,
yeah.
very important. How tall are you?
5'3" or 5'2" now, maybe
So
5'2" and a
you are
half. I'm gonna
you're very
shrink.
lean, yeah. How would you feel about a protein smoothie?
A smoothie?
Uh-huh.
Um, I do have a blender and I have things to put in it, but uh, I I'd never get around to it. It takes so long to clean up after this, you know.
No, not really. It's just a question of rinsing out the blender. The reason I'm telling you this is there's a wonderful product on the market by a company called Metagenics,
Metagenics.
and it's called um, Ultra Meal Advanced Protein,
Ultra meal
Advanced Protein.
protein.
And it is formulated to prevent and to help with scarpopenia, which is basically the muscle wasting that we experience as we get older.
Oh, that sounds great.
It comes vanilla, chocolate, or plain. And you can add to it some collagen powder. I like the Vital Proteins collagen.
I have collagen.
Okay.
I use Dr. Axe's.
Oh, great. So you can throw that in. And you can put in some, gut supporting supplements that will help the integrity of your stomach lining so that you can better absorb your food.
Gut supporting what?
The integrity of your stomach lining.
Gut supporting.
Yeah, so
In
there are.
addition to the collagen,
Yeah.
gut supporting what?
Yeah, so where do you get your supplements from?
But is this another product in addition to the collagen, gut
Yeah,
support?
I'm gonna give you a few suggestions, but just tell me where you get your supplements from.
Mostly Full Script.
Great, okay, so there's a fabulous design, you like designs for health, you take Amino Acid Supreme. They make a product called GI Revive.
GI Revive.
Yeah, it's a powder. Now, they also make it capsules, but the dose, it's too many capsules you have to take. So I like the powder. You can even just put it in water. But I put it in a smoothie, and it's got aloe, slippery elm, marshmallow root, which is very, very
Very
common.
slippery, yeah.
Yeah, and it could be a game changer for you.
Thank you. GI Revive. I will order some.
Yeah. Now, there's another product that's similar that might be less expensive. Dr. Amy Myers has a formulation that is called, let me look it up for you.
Thank you.
Hold it 1 second. Oh, this is nice. It's like you have your own private little session with me today. Catalog, Amy Myers. It is called Leaky Gut Revive.
Leaky Gut Revive.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
less pricey than the Designs for Health product, and it's just as good.
And you makes a
Yeah,
teaspoon or scoop
Same
of
thing.
it.
It comes with a scoop. And you mix it and just put it in wherever. Now, she makes it also two options. You can get it plain, no flavor at all, or she has a strawberry lemonade flavor, which is not very strong, but it's, it is flavored. Which means it
Doesn't put
probably
sugar
has,
in it.
no sugar, but it probably has stevia or monk fruit.
That
But it's
sounds
a
great.
product with very good integrity.
And those are at Full Script?
Yes.
Cool. That's great.
And you can get the Metagenics powder off of Full Script also.
Okay. Right now, I'm taking so many supplements.
Are you?
Yeah, I wake up in the morning and I'm doing a detox, which is probably getting in the way of a lot of weight gain.
Why are you doing the detox, may I ask?
A year ago, I moved from a house that had mold,
Oh.
and I
okay.
was living in the mold for a number of years, and I still have a good 6 to 8 months to go on that at
Wow.
least. And so I'm doing that 5 days, 5 days a week, and then 2 days off on the weekends,
Wow.
which is wonderful. I look forward to weekends just so I can eat breakfast when I get up, rather than going through all that.
Tell me what the detox entails.
It's the Push Catch from Dr. Shade.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's the binder comes after a half hour after you take it's called liver sauce. It's a pusher. It prepares the way, so it kind of pushes the stuff through, and then
Okay.
you take the other thing, and it's another half hour, and then you can eat. But I also have to juggle in the amino acids at the beginning. It's like this before I can eat, and this combination stuff, and it's usually an hour and a half after I wake up before I
Wow.
can have breakfast.
Yeah.
And that pushes the whole meal program around so that I'm eating dinner quite late. And so I want a very relaxed dinner. So and then I have to clean up the days. I clean up all the dishes at that point, and it's like 10:30 already.
No. Okay, so did a doctor prescribe this detox to you?
Yes.
Okay, so how about if you discuss with the doctor how it's impacting your goal to put weight on? And maybe you can approach it differently.
I will do that.
I will tell you though, if you get the Ultra Meal Advanced Protein, there is a wonderful amino acid profile in there. So you might be able to eliminate that step.
That would be great. What was it again?
Ultra Meal Advanced Protein by Metagenics.
Okay, so this may supplant the aminos.
Yeah.
I'm taking so many supplements. It's
And they've all been
they take up a lot of room in the stomach, so I don't
Yeah.
know what's left.
and they been recommended to you
Yes,
by a healthcare practitioner.
and some of them I'm off of or greatly reduced, or they're optional, which
Good.
is a good relief. I'm still, but the prices have gone up on everything.
Oh, I know.
And it's like very expensive, and I'm just waiting for all this to be over, particularly the detox, so I can live a normal life.
Yeah.
I wrote down some questions that I wouldn't
Great.
forget to ask you.
Oh, wonderful. I love questions.
Oh, good. That's great. I would really like to. I'm reacting to something big time right now. My muscles are taking a big hit. Can you see me?
Yeah, sure.
The muscles from the shoulders on down through the upper lower part, where a 3/4 length sleeve would hit. I mean, I had the joint pain I have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis with this autoimmune stuff. But I wake up in the morning and my arms just are killing me. And so something's going on. I don't know if I overused my arms. I used to be pretty strong. I am an accordionist. I teach accordion lessons to pay for vitamins and minerals,
Right.
supplements. I was hoping to, so I know that if sometimes I pull my arm from the wrist, take one hand, pull the arm for a few seconds, let go, and then the other way.
Mhm.
And it really helps. No,
Good.
it's like I'm pulling the shoulder out that way. And that gets loosened up. Or I do a kind of resistance thing where I push down on this, and that also reduces the pain when I let go. So that helps. But I don't know, I reacted to something oh, I remember what it was. I was having coffee with a friend, and I only drink a quarter cup of coffee when I have coffee because I'm so sensitive to stems.
Yeah.
And there was cream instead of using the almond milk. I used a half and half. And it tasted so good.
Delicious.
I had nice growth.
Decadent.
But I reacted to it and I felt icky for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Just
Gassy.
no, just kind of exhausted, like my body was rejecting it or
Oh,
reacting to it somehow. And I'm realizing I haven't had a food sensitivity test in like 6, 7 years since I first came down with autoimmune or was aware of it. These tests are so
so
expensive,
expensive.
but I would really like to get one that covers things like um, 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 my allergy to coconut products, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I know they're expensive. The one that, there are a few, you have a functional doctor?
I do.
Okay, so ask him about the gut zoomer test.
Gut zoomer.
Yeah, complete gut zoomer, because that will give you indications of what you're absorbing and what you're not. It'll also test for leaky gut. It'll test if you have a high zonulin level. That usually is linked to leaky gut.
I'm sure I have leaky gut.
And if you have food sensitivities, you have leaky gut. Because what happens is the tight junctions of the stomach
Oh, I
loosen.
totally understand.
Okay, so
searched
the
it for
food,
years.
goes, which is supposed to end up in the large
Large, the
intestine,
large
and the toilet
molecules are
goes
making
into the
it flow.
bloodstream, right? The immune system is doing what it's supposed to be doing. A healthy immune system
Yeah,
job is
attacking.
to identify and attack.
Now I can eat things like I can't have dairy, cow dairy.
Okay.
That obviously trips it up. But I can have goat or sheep dairy.
There's no lactose there.
There's no lactose so I'm reacting to the lactose in the cow dairy.
Probably.
Oh, it's only in cow. I had no ideas.
Yeah, goat's milk has very little, and it's also different protein profile.
So when
I don't know exactly scientifically, but I know it's a different profile.
Yeah.
I'm also lactose intolerant. I was told back in the 80s I was lactose intolerant, and yet I love goat cheese.
Yes, and I get the sheep
Sheep feta.
feta
Yes.
from Israel at the local. Yeah. Oh, that's so good to know. I thought I was one of my big questions was, does the body misidentify the molecules of the goat and sheep dairy instead of or confuse it as being cow dairy, but they're totally dissimilar, huh?
Yeah, well, it's all about the enzyme action in your stomach, right? So you've got enzymes in your stomach, that digest the food that's coming in, and you need lactase enzyme to digest lactose. And as we get older, we lose it. It's a bit, the amount diminishes, or some people are just born with a diminished amount.
I also had an experience when I was a child going to a dairy with a group of Girl Scouts, and we all drank practically right out of the cow, and I remember something happened, and I think my body still remembers that. So let me see if there's one more quick question. This
Sure. And I'm
other
gonna say
lady
hello to
joined
Myrna and
us.
Flower.
Yeah. Oh, I attend I attend medical summits online with a lot of different uh, medical professionals. And I learn so much and I take notes. I should have an honorary medical degree. All during COVID, I just stayed at home and
Yeah.
attended these things. But there was something called recently oxalates. And
Mhm.
suddenly all the foods that I can eat are, you know, and I'm freaking out. Do I have to cut this out? Do I have to cut that out? It's like, there's too many things to worry about. And I'm feeling like,
Okay, but so this is the thing with oxalates though. They're found in the healthiest foods on earth. So this is where nutrition can become very confusing.
yes,
Right? And if we're not careful, we develop this fear of what food's going to do to us. And we
Yeah.
forget about what it's going to do for us, which is actually the tagline of my work. Stop fearing what food will do to you and start embracing what it can do for you. You cannot, even if you are oxalate sensitive, you cannot completely cut oxalates out all at once. The body goes into shock. It causes a condition called dumping. You end up with chronic diarrhea and it's an ugly experience.
thank you.
But you can, and only if oxalates are an issue and you have to do testing for it, but you can lower the amount of oxalates in a meal. For example, the best example is raw spinach is loaded in oxalates, but when you cook the spinach, a lot of the oxalates go away.
Okay.
So if you've got a problem with oxalates, I say don't have raw spinach. Nuts have a lot of oxalates.
Yes, that's where I get my fats.
Okay, how about, can you have avocado?
Yes,
Okay,
I
So-
mean, I eat it all the time.
all right. So, maybe less nuts, see if you feel better. The joint issue could be oxalates.
That's why I'm
Because
addressing,
oxalates, remember, they form little crystals.
yes. Wow,
And, and that's like gout, right? It gets
yeah.
in the joints. It can be painful.
I have a list of the most oxalated
Good.
foods, and I'm gonna just cut the tops,
Yeah,
those out and
and-
just eat the little ones.
And then, for example, like I was working with a client that had an oxalate sensitivity once, and it turned out that in her morning smoothie was loaded with oxalates because she was using almond milk and then she was putting spinach in. So we made some switches she went from almond milk to coconut milk.
I live
Romaine
on,
lettuce instead of spinach.
I live on almond milk. What might be a good substitute?
Coconut milk or unsweetened oat milk.
Unsweetened oat milk?
Although for you, you could use a little of the sweetened.
Okay, so coconut milk. I gotta find out if I'm allergic to coconuts.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. This has been very helpful.
and I'm so glad.
Thank
Let's
you.
say hello to Flower and Myrna. Yes, you may chat on the chat. It's GLP-1. I'd love to know why you're using that name, considering I just listened to 2 podcasts about GLP-1 drugs.
Can you
Very
hear me?
timely.
Is my audio working? Mindy?
Yes, you sound great.
Oh, awesome. My chiropractor friend who stays up on all this latest and greatest
Mhm.
wrote an article about it. And so it's kind of mysterious. It's like I asked him to extrapolate, but he hasn't. So I'm like, well, because I got some allulose syrup
Mhm.
and found that it definitely has a significant impact in, he said it's because GLP-1 turned back on. I don't even know what that means, but I've struggled, and you and I also have an appointment with bariatrics of all things, because I think there's something hormonal going on I want to, in case I have to be the liver transplant backup,
Mhm.
the donor,
Right.
I've got it, I probably am, all I can figure is that, you know, my stress levels are off the charts, so my hormones are probably crazy. And that's what they're gonna look into and maybe put me on something so that I can just, you know, drop some weight. I need to lose about 30. I did lose
Right.
7 pounds
Okay.
and a bunch of inches,
You
but
said that. You said you lost a tremendous amount of inches around your belly.
which is so weird. And then nothing since then. So it's been like 2 months. So to me, that just indicates there's some really strong hormone things going on.
Yeah,
And
or, you know, it
I'm,
could be
I'm just,
it could be insulin resistance. You know, look, I certainly can't diagnose anything on these calls. But, you know,
my,
there
but
are things
my
you can
blood
look
sugar,
into.
my blood sugar numbers are in their normal range. So I'm not diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic. My thyroid numbers, I got my thyroid back to out of homo or the slow
Hypo.
hypo. So I think it's just soup. I think I've just been under some, it's got to be hormones or some insulin, but maybe I just have to wait till I meet with that team to unwind it the rest of the way. But
Yeah, just look, I know you've been under a tremendous amount of unmitigated stress.
yeah,
Yes, and that can contribute to resistant weight loss, because what happens is cortisol works hand in hand with insulin.
mhm,
And when insulin is constantly being pumped into the body, the cells can become resistant to it. Insulin's job is to take the sugar, and insulin's a fat storage hormone. So if the body is
right.
resistant to it, there you go.
Oh, kind of like when you have taken too many antibiotics and then your body becomes resistant to,
Yes, right.
okay, maybe,
Kind of. It's not the
I
same
mean, right,
mechanism, but
not the
it's the
same,
same
but
idea, right? So, yeah,
insult.
you know, talk to the team about it. You know, the GLP-1 drugs work wonders for people who just can't seem to lose weight. But my feeling from an eating psychology standpoint is, before you embark on that, before you embark on bariatric surgery, you've
Oh,
really
no, I
got
don't
to.
want to do surgery. They have,
Oh, okay.
they have some new drugs.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh, no, I won't do
but
surgery.
you need to look at the
I'm not
motivation.
that over, I'm not that overweight.
Okay, I misunderstood, sorry. You know, is it because you're not inclined to change diet and lifestyle, and you're looking
Well,
at it?
I became disabled. I became disabled, and that's everything has changed.
Yes,
All
yes,
my mobility. So I
okay.
think it's crept up on me over the last 5 years since the disability. It's crept up about, 9 pounds a year, which is not unheard of given the circumstances. It's just now it's at a place where it's unacceptable to me because of the medical need. So if I lose 30 pounds, I'm within their guidelines. I'd like to lose the whole 40, I think it's 45 that I've gained
Mhm.
since the injury.
Yeah, but just
And
understand.
Marco's death, the
Yeah,
cortisol, it's like everything is just,
everything.
it's just been, 4 solid years of, and now a new one. So it's time for, and plus I feel that it's my responsibility to get an understanding and get a handle on this.
All right, well,
Um,
what these drugs do is that, number one, they do alter your cravings, but they alter your hunger significantly because they slow down the gastric emptying process. One of the side effects, many of the side effects include GI issues. So this is something you've got to be closely monitored if this is going on. I mean, I've heard people who go on and the side effects are so bad, they say they'd rather have the weight on them than,
wow.
yeah. And then there are people that do great. There
Yeah,
are people
yeah, yeah.
that do wonderful on them. And then I know people that are on them who are afraid to go off of them because they've had such success. So you need to get, if you're going to follow that path, I highly recommend you do it with the support of a doctor or a coach or
Yeah,
somebody.
and there's apparently there's a whole team.
Great.
Um, and fortunately, it's not a ton of weight. It's just, first of all, I've never been this weight. I've never had trouble losing weight before when I needed to. So and I know as you get older, things change, everything changes. But I really don't want to carry this weight, this belly fat, through the rest of my old age.
Yeah, I understand. This is about you feeling good in your body. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, for me, it's largely health. I mean, I don't really care if people are kind of chubby. Um, if there's a famine or something, you have a little. I've seen people like my partner. He went through this, and he's a retired physician. He got on this kick of having this low carb and to get slender, and so I mean he was normal, big man, just a big 6'3", 250, nothing heavy, chubby, and he lost like down to 180, and then he got sick and went down to 150. And when you're 6'3"
Mm,
at 150 pounds, you're skeletal.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed
Yeah,
bag.
but when I say feeling good in your body, I'm talking physically as well as emotionally and psychologically. I'm not talking about, you know, fat phobia or fat shaming
No,
or
okay.
body
Yeah,
positivity or
yeah.
anything like that. I'm talking about just feeling good in your skin, whatever that means for you. And that whatever that means for you is going to be different than what it means for me.
Right. And we've talked about the fact that fat carries toxins.
Yes.
So in the big picture of health, and I detoxify every year, twice a year. So there's some mysterious thing going on. Oh, I just got the approval from insurance to talk to them. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, I don't mean to take up a lot
no,
of.
no. This is only 3 of us on the call today. So
Okay.
I experimented with a Monday because of my schedule, and maybe it wasn't such a good idea, but I'm thrilled to have this time with you. So ask away.
I mean, I just don't even know what this GLP-1 thing. I don't even know what, my family has a fair amount of obesity in it. And then on the other side, there's alcoholism. So like, is this something to do with that obsessiveness of people either obsessively eating or obsessively drinking? Is there I know some medical theories say that alcoholism is an actual genetic predisposition.
Well, you could have one, but that could also be environmental, right? If you're raised in a home where parents are, you see your role models coping with alcohol,
Right. Or
then
food.
right, but alcohol in particular, it's environment, right? They say genetics loads the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. But then there's a whole field of epigenetics, which is food and lifestyle. So genes can be controlled. Your genetic predispositions can be controlled with diet and lifestyle. So you don't have to blame everything on your genes.
Well, this will be an interesting journey within this whole weight world to see what this does and how long it takes.
Yeah, exactly. But look, you have medical reason, a very, very valid medical reason to get the weight off you.
Right. If a cadaver doesn't come along, I don't want her, to not have the option because I'm, 30 pounds over there.
Oh, no question. How much time does she have before it's going to become an emergency situation?
Currently, because she's not well. Physically, she's not well. Emotionally, she's not well. And she has put me on the exiled list. So after I made all the contacts with UC Davis and UC San Francisco and American Liver, all this footwork and put her into private sober living, now all of a sudden I'm on the exiled list. And so I'm just getting prepared and staying strong. I have a counselor here to help me walk through this. Because she's got, when Marco died, people handle grief differently. I fortunately sought out real solutions. Other people, drink it away, which she did. Other people just work, they go into workaholism. So I've chosen differently, but I do understand that she hasn't dealt with it and it's just a lot.
Yeah.
And so the one person that she can lash out at that's safe is mom.
Sure.
So I'm on the exiled list until such time. And if that's the best she can do, it's like, okay.
You sound like a beautiful spirit. I
Well,
really,
but mom's weak, even if a cadaver, so she's got 6 months of sobriety tomorrow. So that's usually the cadaver first requirement. So let's say, but see, you just never know when a cadaver is going to show up or if it's actually going to be approved as it's not a fast food.
I know.
So let's say another few months goes by and there's no cadaver, all of a sudden her health starts to wobble and all of a sudden mom's going to be popular again. So I want to be ready.
Yeah, good. Good for you.
That sounds reasonable, right?
No question.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you're very welcome. I really wish you the best. I really do. And, research what you can about the GLP-1.
I did. It's all over my head. I'll talk to the bariatric people and see what I can understand.
Okay, good.
I
But
just don't, I don't get it.
And there could be, a period of time where your body has to adjust to it. My assistant has diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and she's been on Mounjaro, which is another GLP-1. And it took her body a while to get used to it. She was feeling, a lot of GI symptoms, nausea, a lot of discomfort, but it subsided. So it was worth being patient for her.
And it also makes you not want to eat because you feel
You're
sick.
full.
Your
You're full.
stomach.
Yeah, you're full. Yeah. Very true. Very
It's
true.
twisted. It's twisted. All right. Well, I actually I've got to jump off here. I've got to be somewhere. Thank you so much for letting me bring that up.
Of
And I'll
course.
catch you next month.
Great. Look forward to it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Do you have any more questions for me, Nada?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of brain fog. And I'm a pretty intelligent person, and when I can't come up with a word to express myself, it's very frustrating.
Mhm.
Or I just lose the track of the thought track. And I get dizzy walking around. It's better when I have enough water, and it's better when I sleep a full night. But I would certainly like to address methods of getting rid of the brain fog. I don't know what is causing it.
Well,
It's
the mold
probably
exposure.
the mold exposure. I probably have leaky brain as well as leaky gut.
Well, they do say that, but the mold exposure, so what you're doing is definitely helpful. You said you're taking a lot of supplements. I'm sure you're taking omega-3s.
I am taking them. I'm taking it in a very messy bottle that I poured
Oh.
in with breakfast, along with another bottle of something else.
Okay.
It's I don't get them mixed up too often, but every once in a while it happens.
I know, but you know what? I think it's a result of aging. And I think it's because we're all doing so much. I will share, I am of an older generation, very similar to you, and I find myself losing words sometimes, forgetting where I put things.
Yes.
I recently read that it's okay if you forget where you put your keys. It's a problem if you forget what they're for.
Okay, that's good. That always, that's
You know,
comforting.
And I have an elderly mom, and she's really unfortunately starting to lose her memory terribly, but she's writing everything down. So I was just talking to a friend this morning, asked me how my mom was. I said, well, you know, the fact that she's remembering to write it down is a good thing. When she forgets what a pen is, then I'll be worried.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just like to get my language back.
It's
Um,
slowing down
You know,
now.
so that the words, the names of people, and places and products and, um. It's especially when I'm teaching my students, I do okay with them. I love my students and they all become my friends. But, I would just like to be a little sharper, but I'm so used to, I mean, I was a really smart kid. And losing it is, or if it's misplaced temporarily, I'll think of it that way. It's worrisome. Um, so the brain fog is caused by, is the mold.
It
I mean,
could be, but as I said, I can't diagnose. I don't know your whole history, but if you're telling me that you've had mold exposure and you're dealing with it,
Yeah.
it could very well be that. The other thing is food sensitivities. Leaky gut causes brain fog.
Oh, I didn't know that. Food
Yes, so
sensitivity.
I would suggest doing what you can for gut support.
The gut tumor test, who makes that?
Vibrant America, Vibrant Wellness is the company.
Vibrant Wellness?
Uh-huh.
So I just look them up and
Yeah,
I
but
assume
it's
a
gotta
blood-
be
I
ordered
assume
by
a
you,
blood
it's gotta
test.
be ordered by a practitioner. So you know, your functional doctor should be able to order that for you. There's also a food sensitivity test that they have quite a few. If your practitioner deals with that company, there's another company called KMBO. And they have a very extensive food sensitivity test. That
Oh,
you
Well, how
can,
expensive is expensive?
that
$1,000.
one, it depends on how many things they're looking
Yeah.
for. They look for, I think, 96 to 176, so the price varies. I think the most expensive is $350.
$350.
Yeah,
That's cheap. You know what Dr. Osborne charges 800 or so for his food sensitivity test, but it covers so many different foods.
yeah,
Not, you know,
okay,
300-400 of them.
wow.
But I, I definitely would like to know about the coconut and about, because my last took one with Great Plains, I think it was.
Mhm.
And I could see that it was dairy and, cow dairy. They just called it dairy. They didn't even do goat or sheep. It was your basic list of foods.
How do you do with wheat?
And wheat was the other one. And wheat was the other one. Well, I've come to the point where not only have I eliminated wheat as a source of, well, it's gliadin, but
Right,
there's a number of them. There's like 9 basic ones that include things like rice and oats, but they're very low on the reaction scale. So I've decided to go away. I was using various bean flours
Mhm.
with their pastas and stuff. And it does help, I suppose, but I still have the problems. I still have the symptoms of reacting. And
So, it comes to a point where my mentor, my teacher always says, sometimes we just have to test, not guess.
yes, exactly.
Right.
Is
So,
that Tom O'Brien says that?
I know Tom O'Brien well. I interviewed him actually.
What a delightful person.
He's a delightful man. Yes, very delightful, brilliant man, brilliant.
Yeah, you can see he remembers everything too.
Yeah.
I just pray that God, God takes care of his brain and keeps it
Right.
intact.
Well, he's married to a much younger woman, so maybe that helps.
I'm sure that helps. I know he has a baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, I attended his, he had this major, what, 9 or 10 day summit that was just brilliant. I don't know, you probably saw part of it, but oh gosh, it was just amazing. I learned so much.
There's a lot to learn out there, but you have to be careful that we don't go down the rabbit hole, so to speak.
I think you're getting in fear of
Yeah.
what is possible in
Yeah.
in
You know,
the
too much information,
digestion world.
too much information is not necessarily so good. You know, it's interesting because I belong to a a community of colleagues where once a month we have what we call office hours. And this month's assignment was to listen to 2 podcasts about these GLP-1 drugs, particularly Ozempic.
What is GLP-1?
It is a, I guess, medicine. It creates a mechanism in the body where it shuts down cravings, it slows down gastric emptying. And it started out as a drug for people with diabetes because it lowers it works with the blood sugar mechanism as well. But off-label, it's being used for weight loss. Now, it's being used for people who legitimately need it, like Flower, who was on our call before.
Yeah.
But then again, it's being used by people who just want a quick fix, who aren't willing to do the work, who aren't willing to change their habits or look at themselves or why they're self-soothing with food. And it's so, my point is that I was very hesitant to listen to the webinars because this is my scope of practice. And I sometimes feel like too much information puts me in the weeds.
Yeah,
You know, my feeling about weight loss is, where's your mindset? And weight gain, actually, I work with plenty of people that need to put on weight because they're afraid of food. Whether it be psychological or due to a physical issue. And, you know, I always question someone's mindset and the context within which the behavior evolved. We have to start there. You know, I won't take on a weight loss client unless they're willing to explore with me how the weight came on in the first place.
yeah,
So my feeling about, you know, too much information, because I've been down the rabbit hole, I've been in the weeds, and it can be very confusing. You have to stick to what you know and know what works for you.
yeah. What works? That's it.
Because it's all, you know, recovery from anything, even if it's chronic illness, is very nuanced. There's no one size fits all.
Right, it's a personal thing. Everybody's different. There are all
And-
these little variables each person has.
And you appreciate the philosophy behind functional medicine, which is all systems are connected, every body is unique, and everything matters.
Right.
And all healing starts in the gut.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our mental health starts in the gut, our immune health starts in the gut.
When I first realized I had leaky gut, I I approached it in a very spiritual way, and I would address my body as, I love you, thank you for all the things you do for me, this system or that system. And I had a conversation with my immune system and my gut, and I'd give them names, Immunuel, and there was another one that was really, really good. But I had conversations with them and included them as intelligent and aware and sensitive and willing to change, and just loving them into this state of let's get balanced, you know. And I remember going for a walk after one of these, and I mean, I would become tearful. You know, when I would get responses, almost, you know, like channeling. I went for a walk after one of these, and I live near nature. I can go out on the path, and talking to my gut, and asking if it is willing to calm down. Because we needed, first of all, to calm down. There was all this anxiety and stress going on. And I remember we went on a beautiful walk, me and my guts. And when we came back, I put my key in the lock, and I had asked, are you willing to take it easy and to lighten up and approach this from a calm state? And yeah. And so I put my key in the lock, and I heard this voice saying, but you first, like, you calm down, Nada, then I can calm down.
Wow.
Isn't that, and it was beautiful. And oh, there was another, oh, I was talking to my thyroid too. The thyroid was, I had Graves' disease for a while. And talking to Twyla Thyroid. Twyla, Twyla Thyroid. I gave them all names, and they all would calm down if I would calm down. And it was wonderful to approach my body on that level. And I've kind of forgotten that, but I could bring that
Yeah,
back.
so why don't you name your digestive system? And talk to it and implore it to calm down,
And take it on.
absorb the wonderful food
Absorb.
that you're feeding it.
Absorba.
Yeah.
Like Absorba, the Greek.
Absorb the Greek.
I was Absorba the sponge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. See if that helps you.
Okay, Absorba. Okay. So the food sensitivity test, KNBO.
KMBO is one, Vibrant Wellness or Vibrant America, they
Right.
have quite a few.
It's the same company?
No, two different companies.
Vibrant America or Vibrant Wellness?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, that is the same company, but they have different branches because one is international and one is just here. And you know,
Which one is
different-
here?
there are different guidelines for different tests, so
I assume that the test is a blood test.
one might be a stool test.
Stool test, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I prefer the other, the one when you just send a blood sample in.
Well, KMBO is a finger prick.
Fingerprints, okay, in blood. Okay,
If your doctor can't get that for you, let me know. I can send you a kit
okay.
and can do it through me, and then you just pay whatever the company.
What is your email?
Mindy, MINDY,
Uh-huh.
at thefreedompromise.com. THEFREEDOMPROMISE.com.
Okay. Great. And oat milk, just reviewing what we discussed. The oat milk is a much less oxalated beverage.
Then the nut milk.
than
Oh,
the-
there's another milk. There's a milk called Ripple, RIPPLE. They make one that's no sugar added. They make one that's less sugar. And has no nuts. It's just pure plant protein. It's very good. There's also flax milk. I like the flax milk. I use the unsweetened vanilla flavored flax milk. Because it also has omega-3s.
Oh, okay.
And I buy it at Whole Foods.
Ripple, and that's by Ripple.
No, Ripple is one, the flax milk is another.
And where would I find flax milk online or?
Could try thrivemarket.com.
Which one?
Thrive Market.
Right.
Or try Instacart because they service Whole Foods.
Well, they're at Whole Foods, so I can go to Whole Foods?
Yes, Whole Foods has these milks. That's where I buy. Instacart. If you go into Whole Foods, there's a wonderful cheese that's their brand, 365. It's goat milk cheddar. It
Oh.
comes in slices. It is absolutely decadently delicious.
And that's at
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. Okay. I know there's one. I'm on the West Coast. I'm in
Yeah,
about 15 miles north of Berkeley.
okay. Yeah, but that should be very helpful for you. And if you can't find it, just send me an email and I will
Okay,
remind you.
all right. Let's see, is there anything else? So the brain fog will go away once, it should be diminishing,
It should be.
but it's not.
Well,
Some days it's just awful.
Well, you know what? Track it. See if it correlates with lack of sleep. See if
I know it does.
Okay, so see if it correlates with any foods that you may be eating. You know, if you have curiosity about being sensitive to certain foods, see if there's sensitivity there. And remember, it can be up to 72 hours that your body reacts
Right.
after ingesting a food.
One last question. I have my my collagen powder in my water. And I know I'm supposed to drink clear water a certain amount a day but does this still count as part of the water? If I put collagen in it, it's okay. Okay, I feel better now.
Absolutely.
I have a neighbor who has a beautiful garden just up the street. And she's got trees with fruits and I know there's sugar in those fruit, and I've been eating the fruit and I'm starting to get headaches and I react to the sugars. And I just don't want to deny myself these fresh fruits and vegetables that she grows.
Are they have pits? Are they peaches and plums and?
Yeah, she just gave me a half dozen apricots and I'm waiting
Yeah,
for them.
it could be the stone fruit.
The stone fruit is
People
this
are
stuff.
allergic to, have sensitivities to stone fruit, so put that on your list to check.
Oh, yeah, and last night I had one peach and it was a small peach, but sensitivities to stone fruit.
It's about just awareness. That's all I'm trying to bring you. I don't want to, alert you, but these are just things that I help you to become aware of, so you can cross them off your list once you find out if yes or no.
And cherries are considered stone fruit.
Yeah.
I love blueberries and they seem to be the easiest. The bananas, I have to eat them just green, just off of green.
Well, that's good for your stomach. You've got to eat green bananas.
Green bananas is good. Yeah, I gotta go get some.
All right, wonderful. Well, this was
Thank
fun.
This was great.
And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, Mindy.
Yeah, and to everyone else who's listening to the recording, if something resonates with you, please reach out to me. And particularly if you have experience with a GLP-1 drug, I would love to hear what your experience has been. So until next time.
How would I access the recording?
Oh, it comes out in my newsletter, which will be out Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
You get my newsletter?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? If you got the invitation for today's call, then you'll get my newsletter.
All right. Great.
All right.
Thank you, Mindy. Have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.